in quarantine. We're currently on day 10. Just woke up, hence the hair, the face, massive glasses, and just showing you how we start our day out here. So to start off with, coffee. So coffee machine and cup. And I am all sorted, and I'm going to show you the transformation. I'll have a cup of coffee, and then I'll look like a different person. It's the start of my course today. It's the 18th of January. So I'll update you once I have had my coffee and sorted this. So I've got myself sorted, teeth cleaned. I've put a little bit of makeup on, but not too much because we're stuck in the house, so I don't need to. My hair has got to stay like this because I don't have any hair straighteners here, so I didn't think there was much point in bringing my GHDs from home because you can't really use them out here because of the current and everything. When you plug them in, they just cut out. So I've come here with no hairdryer, no straighteners, but they do have a hairdryer in the Airbnb, but not straighteners. So this is as good as my hair is going to look until we're out of quarantine, and I've managed to bag myself some straighteners. So I've got my coffee, I've got my college work that I'm just about to start. And once I've done some college work, then I'll come back to you and I'll tell you all about some extra bits and pieces that you'll need to know when quarantining. Okay, so I've now done my college work for the day, and now we're on to our next part of the day, which is exercise. So when you're in quarantine, you have to do a bit of exercise, otherwise you just sat down like a couch potato. And this is the boot camp instructor, my horrible husband over here, Scott. Say hi, Scott.
Hello.
And Taylor is also joining in, aren't you, darling? All right, so here we go. That's our workout done, guys. I'm just going to get myself sorted out, and then I'll come and talk to you everything about all of our dramas in quarantine. Hi guys, so we're all back from our family quarantine exercise. How did you find it, Taylor?
Annoying. And at the same time, my legs are aching to death.
I think you need to do these things in quarantine because otherwise you're going to be bored. Doing a bit of exercise every day literally just breaks the boredom up just that little bit. And if you've got any children, especially a 9-year-old, burning off some calories and burning off some steam does help them, otherwise they will be bouncing off the walls. And although I love him to death, he's become super, super annoying, and you have to admit that.
I can't lie about that.
Right, go and play. So I've written down, if you see me looking down, it's because I've made some notes so that I don't forget anything. I wanted to tell all of you guys everything that we've noticed while in quarantine and everything that you'll need to look out for. So first of all, before you arrive in Canada, you need to work out how you're going to get your first grocery delivery. So we did a private quarantine package, so we organised an Airbnb to stay in, because through the college the options were halls of residence, which was never going to work with Taylor and Scott, or the Holiday Inn. And I thought, I can't think of anything worse than 2 weeks stuck in a Holiday Inn hotel room with a 9-year-old. So we wanted a bit more space, and an Airbnb was just the perfect way for it. So going back to the original Airbnb that we'd booked when we were going to be flying out on Boxing Day, we had organised a grocery delivery through Walmart to be delivered to the property for when we landed. Then everything changed and I had to cancel that delivery last minute. Luckily, the money didn't go out because I cancelled it the day before. And then we rebooked with this Airbnb that we're in now. I was really sceptical about booking the grocery delivery before we came, because I thought if I do all of that and then the flight ban extends or something else happens, it's just going to really deflate me. So I thought I'm not going to do that. But what I did do is contact the host of the Airbnb and ask if they would help us out with just a few essential groceries. So we asked them to get us some bread, eggs, milk, butter, cheese, cereal, Lucky Charms for Taylor, and Raisin Bran for me. That was pretty much it, because it already had tea, coffee, making facilities in the Airbnb. So the hosts got that for us, and it was all set out when we got here. And I think the total for those groceries, there might have been a few added things that I've forgotten, was $32. So not that much money, but that just got us going for like the first day, for breakfasts the next morning after we arrived and everything like that. We then thought that we'll then do our big grocery shop on the first day of quarantine, and that will give us something to do, and then hopefully we'll get delivered for the next day. However, please think about this before you come into quarantine. And I must stress that if we didn't live in a basement above where the owners are, if we were in a completely secluded Airbnb, we would have been completely stuck. So grocery-wise, we found an issue. So we went onto lots of different local grocery stores to try and do a delivery. There was not any nearby delivery slots. So we were looking at waiting days before we could get delivery of food. Now, with only an essential grocery pack, we would have been stuck. So we couldn't wait for that. So we then looked at doing some pickups. So the hosts of the Airbnb said they would go and pick up our food for us. However, when we come to pay, we went through all of the different supermarkets. We looked at Zehrs, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, it's Zehrs, I think. We done a big order with them, got to the last page, and as you're probably aware, grocery shopping takes up a long time and it's tedious. We got to the last page, and then as we were paying, when it asks you to put in your payment details, it wants a Canadian or US billing address, which we didn't have. We've got our UK bank card still, and we could not pay. We then looked at all of the other supermarkets, and they were pretty much all the same. So the only grocery store that we could go to over here was Walmart, and that's because they let us pay through PayPal, and that didn't have any issues with us having a UK billing address but having a shipping address in Canada. So Walmart is the only place that we could go for. The next thing that we sorted in quarantine was our SIN number. So you need a SIN number in order for your bank account to get paid into, for employment, and the SIN number is your social insurance number. So you used to be able to pick them up from the airports, but due to COVID, they've closed all of that down, so you now have to apply for it online. So I did this by the Government of Canada, the official website for applying for the SIN. So I applied for it, I think, on the first day, and it says that it can take 10 working days to get back to you. I'm now on day 10 of quarantine. I haven't had any response back, but obviously we've had weekends and everything, so it's not been fully working days. After I've applied for mine and Scott's SIN, so that's all done. The next thing that I applied for the both of us was bank accounts. Now, we looked at loads of different banks out here and tried to get the best accounts for us. We've chosen to go through a bank called CIBC. So they're offering a international student bank account with no fees for transactions, because what you will notice out here is you will get charged for most transactions that you do. If you pay by card, you get a charge. If you draw your own money out of the cash machine, you get charged. I don't know, I can't talk to you about how much that's going to cost yet. or if there is actually any fees in my bank account, it does say no fees, but I can't confirm that until I've actually gone into the bank. So I've applied for it, and we thought that we'd be able to just apply remotely and get our bank account, but we can't, I guess because we're from the UK, we have to meet in person. So we've booked our bank account appointments. So Scott's got his on Monday the 25th, and I've got mine on Tuesday the 26th. This is because those are the first weekdays that we're out of quarantine. So it's a pain because we're stuck. We can't have a bank account until we're out of quarantine. And then we couldn't order anything without a bank account. So it's a vicious circle. The next thing I had to organise was Taylor's school. So before we came out, I'd searched and researched about what school I was going to send him to. So I've chosen Sunnybray, which is a school in Innisfil. That's going to be close to where we're going to be living. So I emailed the school before we moved from the UK, and they gave me basic information about the school. However, what I didn't realise is you can't register your child for school until you actually land in Canada. That's simply because when you try to click on the register button in the UK, it won't load the page. It will know that you're not in Canada and it won't open. As soon as we got here, I was able to then register and do all of the registration for him. So after I'd put in all of his details and registered him on the school board, I then got an email from somebody from the school board saying that they wanted to arrange a Zoom meeting. They would normally do it in person, but because of COVID, it's over Zoom. Now, they wanted to see loads of documents in order to register him for the school. So they wanted to see us all. So me, Scott and Taylor, they wanted to see all three of us on the Zoom call. They wanted a copy of all three of our passports. So with that, with the Zoom call, you just literally hold the documents up to the camera to show the person on the other end. That was a lady. So we showed all three passports. I then had to show my study permit, Taylor's visitor visa, Taylor's immunisation records. So I did know that I might be asked for this before I left the UK, so I had my doctor from home print out his immunisation records to show them. They also asked for a school report from his previous school, so his UK school. I had that in advance, so that was all good. They also ask for proof of residency, so where you're living. So a utility bill, obviously we won't have one yet because we haven't moved in, or a rental contract. Now I'm going to be moving in with my cousin and renting off her. We didn't have a rental contract, but as you would have known maybe from my first video, I used to be an estate agent for 13 years. So I made a rental contract myself and had it signed by us all. In the space of an hour, I just typed that up online and gave that to them, and they were happy with that. That wasn't an issue. The other thing that they wanted, as well as all of those documents, is COVID tests. Now this threw me because I said we've had negative COVID tests the day before our flight when we left the UK, but they are not happy with that. They want you to have another COVID test. So we've now had to book in on this Friday, which is our last Friday, which is our last day of quarantine. We've had to book in a COVID test in Barry COVID Testing Centre for all three of us. So they don't want just Taylor, they want the whole family to be COVID tested. Luckily, it doesn't cost anything at this moment in time. I know there are other places that are charging, but currently it doesn't cost anything. But we have to get that done on Friday afternoon. I then have to email the school back with the COVID test results, and only then will they allow him to go to school. So at the moment, if you're not aware, there is a lockdown in Ontario, so all of the schools are closed. They reopen at the moment, this is all due to change, they are at the moment due to open on the 25th, which is next Monday when we're out of quarantine. However, schools in Toronto and sort of the bigger suburbs around Toronto are still being locked down. But Innisfil at the moment is going to be open as of the 25th. So I've got my fingers and toes crossed that everything works out and he can go to school, because I think that that's such a big important thing, especially when kids have been out of school for so long last year, not getting enough learning experience, and then also moving to another country. he's going to want to meet kids, he's going to want to have friends, and if he's studying from a computer at home, he's not going to benefit from those social interactions that he needs. Okay, so the next issue that we had to sort out was beds. Now, as I said previously, we're moving in with my cousin on Saturday, which is our first day out of quarantine, yay! And we needed to order a bed. So Taylor's all sorted. We have already got him a single bed at my cousin's house, ready for him to move into, but we needed a bed for ourselves. So we thought about the different sizes. Obviously the sizing's different out here, and we agreed that we were going to get a queen size bed, which I believe is the equivalent of a king size in the UK. Now Scott's 6'4", so we do need that bit of extra space for him to spread out. So a queen size bed it was. We looked through loads of different suppliers on the internet. So to name a few, we looked at Best Buy, Costco, IKEA, Wayfair, Sleep Country. We looked at all of those and found beds and found mattresses, but then found that one thing that was tripping us up constantly was not having a Canadian bank account. Now, every time we tried to pay for something, it would reject us because we had a UK billing address. So then I thought about Amazon. So we'd ordered from Amazon back at home, so I thought, why not try with Amazon out here? So we found some beds, we found mattress, and placed the order. It said it had all been processed, and then I woke up the next morning to find a nice email from Amazon to say that they had suspended my account due to suspicious activity and had put a hold on everything. So I then emailed them back with a copy of my bank statement and an explanation to prove that that was my card that I was paying from, and have not heard from them since. They have blocked me out of Amazon and I can't get back in. So I was then thinking, what are we going to do? Because we're going to turn up on Saturday and 3 of us are going to have to sleep in Taylor's bed, and that's just not going to happen. And my husband then found a website called Mike the Mattress Guy. It sounds like something from Friends, but Mike the Mattress Guy is a local business in Barry, and he sells beds, other bits of furniture, mattresses, and with him you can pay by cash on delivery. So instead of trying to do it online and stressing myself out, I just gave them a call, and they were really, really helpful, and we've ordered it and they're coming to deliver it on Saturday for us. And because we paid by cash, they've then said that with regards to cost for delivery, we didn't have to pay a delivery fee, but when they arrive with the bed, they just want a donation of a bag of groceries to give to the local food bank, which I thought was really, really nice. The next issue and the final issue that we've had is a car. So we need a car to get around. Not that we can go many places because it's locked down and I'm doing my college course remotely, but we still need a car for when Scott gets into work and everything. We need to get around. So I've had a look and I found a car that I love and I'm going to be buying, which is a GMC Terrain. So it's kind of a big SUV 4x4, which will be great for all of us and good for Simba, my dog, who is on his way out next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. It's got a big enough boot for him to go in the back and to travel around. So I called around insurance companies. Insurance is going to set you back more than the UK. It depends on what company you go to. So I found a company called Johnson's, and they said that they would insure me with my UK driving licence until I swap it for the Ontario driving licence, because when you're out here and driving you need to swap your licence, but I obviously can't swap my licence until I'm out of quarantine and I'm at my cousin's. So they said they would insure me on the UK licence. Now the cost for insurance for the year for me and Scott to be driving was $2,300. So I'm guessing that that's about £1,400, something around those, that figure. So it's not cheap. My insurance was like £400 for a year or £500 for a year in the UK, so it's a lot more. But it's something that you need to get. You need to have insurance, and other things are different when it comes to cars out here. So the fuel is cheaper, you don't have to get your MOTs, services are done differently. So I found the car, I've organised it, I've told them that I want to buy the car, I've told them that I've got insurance. The next issue that we've had is that they've come back to me and said that when you buy a car out here, you need to get license plates. The license plates don't come with the cars like they do in the UK. So when you buy a car, you buy insurance and you get number plates. When you then change that car, you would take that number plate off and you would put your same number plate onto your next car that you have. Now the problem that we've got is that they can't give us the plates until we've got an Ontario driving licence. So we were hoping that we would have the car and we could leave our quarantine in the car and drive to my cousin's. But as with everything, the plan is, it's not going to plan. So we can't get the car until we've gone to my cousin's, she'll have to pick us up. And then we go to the drive test centre, because that's where you have to swap your licence over. You don't have to do any other tests. If you've got a full UK driving licence, you literally just go to the test centre, hand your licence in, pay them some money. I'm not sure how much it is yet. And then they will swap it with you for the Ontario licence. But we can't get our car until we've got the Ontario licence, and then they can get the number plates for us. Okay, so I thought I would show you guys what a quarantine meal looks like for us. And this is just me and Scott having a bit of fun, trying to curb the boredom. Scott does generally cook most nights, and I am the sous chef. What are we having for dinner tonight then, Scott?
Fish tacos.
And I will show you our ingredients. So we are having rainbow trout, and then we're going to have tacos, and we've got some chilies, tomatoes, avocado, onion, mango, and Bud Light. So it's not as easy as just booking a delivery order and adding beer or wine to your grocery list out here. It's not. So when we were doing our grocery shopping, you can't add anything like that from Walmart. The closest thing I got to wine was red wine vinegar. Now that sucks. However, what we did find is a place called Dial a Bottle. So you can go on there and somebody will go and pick you up some beer from the shop. It is not cheap. So we managed to get 24 Bud Lights, and it cost $65, including the tip.
Yeah, including the tip.
Including the tip, $65. Now that, compared to England, that's a lot of money. But the food shopping, which I can go into in a different video, is cheap. Well, it's not cheap, it's about the same, but the quantity of what you get out here is a lot bigger than what you get in the UK.
Easy.
So, cook with us. is our fish tacos, quarantine style, and it's just my favourite dinner ever. Thanks for watching our quarantine meal, guys. Very simple meal, 20 minutes tops, literally my favourite meal, tacos. So we've got mango salsa, you can either have mango or pineapple, we switch it up. Mango salsa tonight with rainbow trout. Any questions on how to cook it or any questions about the meal, then just put a comment down below and we will let you know how we've done it. Anyway, this is the end of my quarantine video. I will do another vlog just as we're coming out of quarantine, so stay tuned to see my next video.